Assalamu alaikum dear students, hope you are well and hearty. Welcome to NIEVS Homeschool. This is Fatema Sabrin Shikha, Assistant Teacher of National Ideal English Version School, Morning Shift. Today I am going to take ICT class for the students of class 10 on the topic Chapter 5, and today I will read from page 82 to 86. I am repeating, today our topic is Chapter 5, page 82 to 85. And students, this is lecture number 4 and our homework number will be 3. Now please students, take your textbook. I am going to read from your book. So let's start. Students, I hope you have opened page number 82. Today we will start from the toolbox of Photoshop and palette distinction. At least 69 kinds of tools are there in a Photoshop. So how many types of tools are there in the Photoshop? You will get 69 kinds of tools in the Photoshop. Besides, numerous options of palettes, dialog boxes, etc. are there. There is a relationship among different tools of option palettes and dialog boxes. In addition, the brush color or foreground and color control icon are there for the canvas or background, and visual space control icon for the monitor, mask icon, etc. So you will get monitor, mask icon, all this. If a line is drawn either with a pencil or with a brush tool, the color of foreground works as the color of brush. Different palettes are kept on the right side of the screen. The minimize icon is viewed above the right side of the palette. The palette will be minimized if you click the minimize icon. So if you want to minimize the icon, then you have to click the icon of minimize. It will be again extended if you click the maximize icon. So if you want to extend it, then you don't have to click minimize, you have to click on maximize icon. If you double click on the top bar of the palette, it will be either maximized or minimized. So with double click, you can minimize it or maximize it. Clicking and dragging the top bar, the palette can be replaced anywhere. There is a toolbox on the left side of the screen. It has included different kinds of tools for different jobs. The tool which is required to work becomes activated when clicked. If the mouse pointer is taken inside the screen after selecting a tool of the box, the tool is either viewed on its actual size or as a plus sign. You can see the plus sign, and the editing tools are viewed as circles. Now selection of tools and acquaintance of move tools. 3 selection tools and 1 move tool are viewed on the top of the toolbox. At the bottom of the right side of some tools, a small arrow sign, like you can see Z is viewed. So you will get a sign, small arrow sign like Z. It indicates that in the same position, more tools of the similar types remain there. For example, for marquee tools in the same position and 3 lasso tools in different positions are there. Place the mouse pointer on the tool and the name of the tool will be viewed. Click the tool to activate it. If the mouse pointer is brought inside the screen, it will be viewed either in the own shape of the selected tool or with a plus sign. Making squares, circles, and objects is possible with the marker tool within the selected tool. So students, if you want to make a circle, if you want to make a square, then you have to use marker tool within the selected tool. By pressing the shift button and dragging rectangular marker tool, a perfect square, and pressing the shift button and dragging elliptical marker tool, a perfect circle can be drawn. If you drag while pressing at Alt button, selections of square and circle can be extended from the center point. Now shifting of selection. After making the square of selection by rectangular marker tool, remove the finger from the mouse and the selection of square will be viewed on the screen. If you take the mouse pointer inside the selection, a rectangular icon will be viewed below the pointer. Pressing and dragging the selection can be shifted elsewhere. Select the delete command from the select menu or click the mouse pointer outside the selection while it is loading. It will go away. So for shifting of selection, you can follow this way. Fill color in the floating selection. There are color icons of foreground and background at the bottom of the toolbox. The icon above is for foreground and the icon below is for the background. To fill a selection with color while floating, press Alt plus backspace and the selection will be filled with the color of the brush or foreground. If you press Ctrl backspace or only backspace, it will be filled with the color of background or canvas. So if you want this, what you have to do, you have to press Ctrl plus backspace, or only you can press backspace. The selection filled with color will float. It can be shifted elsewhere by dragging. The object will stay at the same position after shifting the selection. If the shifting is done by pressing the Control button, the object will be shifted being cut. Press Ctrl and Alt during shifting. The object will be shifted being copied. The selection will go away if you click the mouse pointer taking outside the selection. The use of feather. Typing the number from 0 to 250 in the box of feather on the option bar, the edge of the object can be softened. The room of the feather extends equally from the edge of the object to inside and outside. If 10 is typed in the feather box, the softness of the edge will be 20. The feather effect will be activated by pressing Enter button after writing different numerical figures in the box. Fill color by using either rectangular marquee tool or elliptical marquee tool, and the effect of feather will be visible then. The effect will be still viewed after pasting cut or copied object. Select with Lasso Tool and Polygonal Lasso Tool. Select Lasso Tool in the toolbox. Numerous selections can be made with Lasso Tool, such as clicking and dragging on the canvas after selecting Lasso Tool. Selections of non-circular and uneven edge can be created. If you realize the finger from the pressing position on the mouse while dragging, a closed selection will be created from the position to the first clicking point. You can see this in this way. You can do with select the Lasso Tool or Polygonal Lasso. Clicking inside the selection while floating, it can be shifted elsewhere by dragging. Filling any floating selection with color, it can be shifted any filled either with the same or with a different color. Opacity is used to determine the thickness of the color. The Fill dialog box will come after giving Fill command under Edit menu. The foreground is kept selected in the Use box of contents under Fill dialog box. It can be changed from the list of drop-down menu if required. In the opacity square of the dialog box, type a number of determine the thickness of color. The full intensity of color is 100%. If the percentage is small percent, the color will be right. Typing 50 in the opacity box, click OK button and the foreground of the selection will be filled with 50% of the total thickness. There is opacity in the option palette of selection too. The intensity of color can be increased or reduced with selecting the opacity of the palette. Stroke. The border of the selection can be made by Stroke command. Select Stroke command under Edit menu as the selection is floating and you will get the Stroke dialog box. Any number from 1 to 16 can be typed in Stroke with white box. The extension of the border is determined with this number. To create the border outside, inside, or at the middle of the selection, activate any of these three options by clicking the radio button attached with them. Click OK button of the dialog box. Border can be created either by using the color of the brush or of the foreground in the Stroke process. Saving file. Give Save command from File menu and Save as dialog box will be viewed. So you have done all these, and after that, if you want to save your file, what you have to do, you have to click the command of Save, then you will get the file. You will write down Save as dialog box. It will be viewed. In the box of file name of Save As dialog box, type the name of the file, for example, practice. Click OK button in the dialog box and the file will be saved as practice. Practice can be opened for further work later. So students, that's for our discussion. We have discussed from page 82 to 85. Now it's time to provide your homework. Your homework will be 5 MCQ. Your homework will be 5 MCQ from page 82 to 85. Students, in your live classes, I used to say that this chapter, that means chapter 5, is related to practice based. You have to practice more and more. You will read the pages thoroughly and you will take your laptop or computer or your device and you will practice more and more. Without practice, you can understand it correctly. So I hope you will practice and at the same time you will do your homework and you will not forget to submit your homework copies. See you in next inshallah. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.